the Browns fumble this game, they lose to the Jets, who have made it abundantly clear they are not trying to win this season. They just traded Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, their 2 best defensive players. You've been in locker rooms, Dustin. You've been in NFL locker rooms. Jason, you've covered locker rooms and have been around guys at the highest of high levels. Is this the kind of game that if the Browns were to lose, they drop to 2-7 on the season, playoffs, division completely out of the picture, that some veterans might be starting to turn their attention to Cancun and offseason plans as opposed to the final 8 games of the season?
I think that if they lose this game and it doesn't go well for them, all those little ancillary pieces that have been put aside, or those veteran players, as you mentioned, Mikey, maybe start to think about 1, 2, 3 Cancun. It would be a very frustrating situation for this team, especially when you made all these changes. DePodesta was not let go, but he decided to leave the organization and go to the Rockies. Play calling was moved from Stefanski to Tommy Rees. There won't be any finger pointing in the media because that's not how they roll, and you respect that. But internally, I think those things will certainly be talked about. There'll be whispers and rumors and things that Jason will hear, and the other media folks will start to hear from the locker room, and you'll start to see some things. Guys will stop staying late after practice. They won't be getting the extra jugs machines in and all that stuff. And yeah, it'll be a rough, as Zach Jackson always likes to say, kind of a death march in December, and then another December in Berea.
Yeah, it's tough, Jason, because what Dustin said is correct. They'd already moved the clocks back. It's getting dark at like 4 o'clock now.
Oh, man. It's called the Ohio Depression.
I walk outside. It's been a beautiful summer. We had great weather. I'm like, dang, it's already dark. People are going to start looking at that watch being like, man, I'm cool. I'll get my ice bag to go, Dustin. Instead of getting there, getting that stem treatment, being in the hot
Or not
tub.
Even get the ice bag.
No, just roll out.
Just roll out. Screw it.
Guys, you don't see guys with the door open watching an extra film. And then you start to have the guys that are really affected, which are the young dudes. And you got a lot of young players on this team that, are big parts of what you guys are trying to do. And if they're seeing that, it becomes a depressing feel. And like we said earlier in the YouTube show, the season ain't almost over. There's 8 more games, man. This
half the year.
There's a half the year left. And some of them teams you playing at the end of December, it could get real nasty out here, Jason, if you're doing that.
Yeah, I think some of the defensive players probably have already checked out on the head coach, if that's the question. Could Stefanski lose the locker room? I think there's already defensive guys that are fed up and disgusted because of the shape of the offense. He has not lost the offensive players, though. Look at it this week. Wyatt Teller came out and said, please don't trade me. I don't want to go anywhere. Do you say that if you don't like the head coach you want to be? David Njoku pulled a Wolf of Wall Street and said, I ain't leaving.
Oh, he said,
I ain't leaving.
He posed a sit-in. I said, David, he's like, I'm not turning my key card in.
These are not veterans on offense who have checked out on this team. How much more evidence do you need? And the young guys on offense, I just don't think they know any better. Now,
or are they comfortable losing?
Well, that's the dangerous part. The dangerous part is if the infection gets into them when they're young. And they don't. Or you mean you talk about the veterans, David? And
everyone, but the veterans specifically, like David Njoku's got a. I mean, it's a contract year for him, so obviously he wants to make some more plays. Yeah. But overall, I mean, I don't know that the Browns get worked extra hard or in practice and things like that.
Nobody does
so it's kind of a cushy job.
But of course, I mean, yeah, you're making $17 million a year, 18 or whatever it is these guys are pulling in. But if you were in an unhappy environment, if you wanted out of here, I don't think you would come out and say the things that Wyatt and David said. I actually think they should sign both of them to an extension, and I've kind of come around on that. I wasn't sure about David. Because he
looks slow this year.
He's a little slower. He's a little heavier. He's getting a little bit older. But you need guys who want to be here. You need veterans who set the right tone in the locker room. And right now, the Browns' 2 highest paid players both said, I don't want to be here. And ownership said, yes, you do. I'll just keep adding zeros till I change your mind. That is not the way you build a culture in the NFL.
No. And we're looking at it like this. You do need somebody to make some plays. David Njoku, we would be welcome for you to make those plays this week. And to get an evaluation from some of these rookies. You see Dylan Gabriel, you see Shedeur Sanders. And it may be a situation where you need some of these dudes to make some plays for you, McNuggets.
They need a lot of guys to make plays. We've talked about this in the YouTube show. We've talked about it all week. This offense has been putrid. I asked the question in the YouTube show, who's poised for a breakout season? And the answers we got were the punter. So just think about that. So, yeah, there are a lot of players who could step up and play better in the second half. I'll just keep going back to this. And D3 basketball is not the NFL, but I remember my sophomore year we lost to a team that we had no business losing to and essentially eliminated us from playoff contention. And we were like, all right, still have half a season to play, but it's a moot point. Like, it's a useless, futile effort. And I can only imagine guys who are making millions of dollars and they're putting their bodies on the line in a significantly different way than I did, feeling the exact same way if they were to lose to a Jets team that has actively said, we're trying to lose.
This is the #1 pick, Bo, right here, fellas. Mm-hmm. This is the #1 pick.
If you want someone else who's having a good year, that long snapper's been on point.
Oh, man, I ain't seen him miss yet.
There's been some good snapping going on.
Man, listen, what is a good time on special teams? You know, they time it in practice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we need this 1.2.